What if I told you the richest man in the world might not be Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, but a royal prince you've rarely seen and barely understand? A man who owns a $500 million yacht, a $300 million French palace, and a $450 million painting. A man building a $1 trillion futuristic city in the desert, where robots may run the streets and flying taxis are real. His name? Mohammed bin Salman. And behind the gold curtains of his empire lies a world so private, so powerful, it's almost untouchable. This is the Luxe world, and you're about to step inside the royal billionaire life of the most powerful prince on earth. Born into a royal lineage that has ruled the kingdom of Saudi Arabia for nearly a century, Mohammed bin Salman wasn't just born into wealth. He was born into power. But unlike the princes before him, Mohammed didn't wait in the shadows. From the moment he stepped into the public eye, he made one thing clear. He would not be just another royal figurehead. He would be the force that transforms the future of an entire nation, and possibly the world. Mohammed bin Salman, often known as MBS, was born on August 31st, 1985, the son of King Salman, one of the most influential monarchs in modern Middle Eastern history. Raised within marble halls and golden gates, MBS was always close to the core of the kingdom's power. But while his surroundings were soaked in oil wealth and opulence, his focus was far more ambitious. From a young age, MBS developed a fascination with global economics, technology, and control. He wasn't interested in merely living like royalty. He wanted to lead like a king. In 2015, at just 29 years old, Mohammed bin Salman was appointed defense minister, the youngest in the world at the time. 2 years later, in 2017, he made his most dramatic move yet. He became the crown prince after what many consider a strategic royal reshuffle. The world took notice. A new generation was stepping in. But unlike previous Saudi leaders, MBS wasn't quiet. He didn't hide behind tradition. He was bold, relentless, and absolutely unapologetic. MBS launched one of the most ambitious transformation programs the modern world has ever seen, Vision 2030. His goal? To wean Saudi Arabia off oil, diversify the economy, and build a kingdom of innovation, tourism, and global influence. But behind the economic reforms, something else was happening. A lifestyle unlike any the world had ever seen before was taking shape. Because while MBS was reshaping a nation, he was also living like a modern-day emperor. Private jets, royal palaces, secret islands, priceless art. This wasn't just wealth. This was curated power, wrapped in gold, art, and absolute authority. Up next, we take you inside the royal homes of Mohammed bin Salman. The private palaces, billion-dollar castles, and a French chateau fit for a king. You're about to see luxury on a scale that's hard to believe, but impossible to ignore. Behind the world's most impenetrable gates stand palaces so vast, they blur the line between architecture and fantasy. And for Mohammed bin Salman, these aren't just homes. They are statements of power, monuments of luxury built to impress royals, world leaders, and history itself. We begin with the Al Yamama Palace, located in the capital city of Riyadh. This is not merely a residence. It's the official headquarters of the Saudi royal court. Spanning over 4 million square feet, this marble masterpiece is adorned with gold ceilings, mosaic courtyards, and towering chandeliers that weigh more than a car. Inside, you'll find reception halls large enough to host hundreds of diplomats, secret rooms for classified decisions, and even a rumored underground network connecting to military bases. To most, it's a palace. To MBS, it's a fortress of power. Tucked just outside Jeddah lies the lesser-known Al Salam Palace, the crown jewel for royal retreats. Unlike Yamama, Al Salam is far more private, reserved for moments of calm in a sea of responsibility. Its design fuses traditional Saudi architecture with sleek European influences, an intentional blend of heritage and modernization, reflecting MBS's own personality. Some say the walls are covered in silk. Others claim the garden is watered by imported mineral water. What we do know is that no journalist has ever set foot inside. But perhaps the most extravagant of all is not even in Saudi Arabia. In 2015, MBS quietly purchased the Chateau Louis XIV, located just outside Paris, France. It cost him $300 million, making it the most expensive home ever sold at the time. This modern recreation of a 17th-century French palace includes gold-leafed fountains, a ballroom with a painted ceiling, and even a moat with underwater lighting. And of course, it's equipped with a private cinema, squash court, wine cellar, and panic room. Because even a prince must be prepared for anything. And it doesn't stop there. MBS is rumored to own multiple private islands in the Red Sea, untouched paradises with beachfront mansions, helipads, and marine security. Though no photos have ever been leaked, satellite imagery shows large, ultramodern compounds built far away from public access. To the world, they are unmarked islands. To MBS, they are safe zones for relaxation, reflection, and absolute privacy. These palaces may seem like fairy tales, but for Mohammed bin Salman, they are just the beginning. Because when you control the world's second-largest oil reserves, private jets, mega yachts, and custom armored fleets are just a phone call away. Coming up, we dive inside the skies, seas, and roads of MBS's empire. From $500 million yachts to flying palaces in the sky. What does a royal billionaire really travel in? For most billionaires, luxury travel means first-class comfort. But for Mohammed bin Salman, comfort is only the beginning. When you're one of the most powerful men on earth, every ride becomes a royal experience, built for security, speed, and staggering extravagance. Let's begin in the skies, where Mohammed bin Salman's fleet rivals that of entire nations. His flagship aircraft is a custom Boeing 747, a flying palace worth over $250 million after luxury modifications. Forget airline seating. This jet features a golden dining room, a private cinema, a personal office, and a marble bathroom that looks more like a hotel suite. In 2021, he also added a fully customized Airbus A380, the world's largest passenger plane. Except this one doesn't carry passengers. It carries royalty, with entire floors designed for boardrooms, spa treatments, and even a prayer room facing Mecca. Every detail is guarded. Every journey is tracked by military-grade radar. Because for MBS, air travel isn't just about flying, it's about flying above the rest. Now to the sea, where MBS's most famous purchase made global headlines. In 2015, while vacationing in the south of France, Mohammed bin Salman saw a yacht named Serene docked in Monaco. The yacht belonged to a Russian vodka billionaire. But MBS didn't wait. Within 48 hours, he bought it for $500 million, paying in full. Asterisk, the Serene is a floating fortress, 134 meters long, 2 helipads, an indoor seawater pool, a submarine dock, a snow room, yes, a snow room, in the middle of the ocean. Asterisk. It's not just a yacht. It's a mobile palace patrolled by private guards, tracked by naval satellites, and fitted with bulletproof glass. For MBS, the sea is his second throne. On land, the prince's fleet is just as jaw-dropping. Think of the rarest cars on Earth, and chances are he owns several. Asterisk. Asterisk, the fleet includes gold-plated Rolls-Royce Phantoms, a custom Mercedes-Maybach Pullman, fully bulletproof, multiple Bugatti Veyrons, limited edition Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and Bentleys. But it doesn't stop at luxury. Security is always top priority. Some vehicles in his fleet are said to be completely armored, with run-flat tires, internal oxygen supply, and communication jammers to block tracking. In total, his car collection is estimated to be worth over $40 million and growing. Because when MBS arrives, the engine doesn't purr, it roars. From golden jets to floating mansions, Mohammed bin Salman's travel choices are as legendary as his influence. But even these luxuries pale in comparison to what he collects when he's not traveling. Coming up next, the most expensive items he's ever bought. From rare paintings to futuristic palaces, We'll show you purchases so extravagant, only a royal billionaire could make them. We've seen how Mohammed Bin Salman lives, in palaces, on yachts, and in the skies. But what about his personal collection of treasures? When you're one of the wealthiest and most influential men on earth, collecting rare artifacts and valuable art isn't just a hobby. It's a way to show the world your taste for the finer things in life. Let's begin with one of the most astonishing art purchases of the 21st century. In 2017, MBS stunned the world by purchasing Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi for an eye-watering $450 million. This painting, long lost to history, depicts Christ holding a crystal orb and was rediscovered in 2005. But it's not just the artistic value of this work that makes it so extraordinary. It's the fact that MBS outbid international art dealers, museums, and billionaires for it, making it the most expensive piece of art ever sold. Rumors suggest that he bought it as part of his personal collection and not to hang in any public gallery. The painting now rests in his private vault, far from the eyes of the public. It's a symbol of power, art, and influence, but most of all, a reminder that in MBS's world, money is never an obstacle when you want to own history. We've already spoken about the Chateau Louis XIV, the French estate MBS purchased for $300 million. But what makes it so special? First, this is not just any palace. It's a meticulously recreated masterpiece of French architecture from the 17th century, a blend of old-world elegance and cutting-edge modern technology. The estate sits on 57 acres of prime French land, with vast gardens, fountains, and lakes surrounding the property. Inside, you'll find marble walls, gold-plated ceilings, and lavish chandeliers that dwarf anything seen in Parisian hotels. MBS's purchase was controversial, but it solidified his place as someone who seeks only the best and the rarest. This is not just luxury. This is a statement of absolute power. Of course, no royal collection would be complete without an array of precious stones. MBS is rumored to own a jewelry collection valued at over $100 million, with diamonds, sapphires, and emeralds so rare they rival some of the most coveted stones in history. Among his most treasured pieces is an extravagant diamond necklace, rumored to contain over 100 carats of flawless diamonds. It's said that he wears it only on the most important occasions, like meetings with global leaders or royal events, adding a dazzling touch to his already majestic presence. And it doesn't end with one painting. MBS has an entire collection of priceless art. From ancient Roman sculptures to modern-day masterpieces by Picasso, Claude Monet, and Jeff Koons, his collection spans centuries and styles. Perhaps the most fascinating part of his collection is its secrecy. While we know he owns some of the world's most famous works, their exact locations are unknown. Some are believed to be housed in his private museums scattered across Saudi Arabia, while others are likely kept hidden in a vault only accessible to the prince himself. For MBS, art is more than a collection. It's a legacy of wealth, power, and the world's finest creations. MBS has spent billions on rare artifacts, luxurious estates, and unparalleled pieces of art. But what about his true legacy? What will history say about this prince? And what kind of future is he truly building? Coming up next, we dive into the revolutionary projects MBS is leading across Saudi Arabia and the world. From the Vision 2030 to his $500 billion city, this prince is building the future of humanity. While his wealth and lifestyle may capture the world's attention, Mohammed bin Salman's true legacy will likely be defined by the ambitious projects he's championed. Through Vision 2030, MBS is reshaping Saudi Arabia and the entire region, creating a future so bold it seems almost beyond imagination. From cities built in the desert to revolutionizing energy consumption, MBS is not just playing the long game. He's playing a game that could change the course of human history. In 2016, Mohammed bin Salman unveiled Vision 2030, an audacious plan to move Saudi Arabia away from its reliance on oil and into a future fueled by innovation, technology, and global partnerships. At its core, Vision 2030 is about economic diversification, creating a knowledge-based economy, promoting tourism, and establishing Saudi Arabia as a global hub for trade, business, and culture. But it's more than that. Vision 2030 aims to build new cities, create thousands of jobs, and foster an entirely new mindset in a country long defined by tradition. In short, MBS is shaping not just a country, but a future world, a future where Saudi Arabia is at the center of global influence. Perhaps the crown jewel of Vision 2030 is Neom, a $500 billion megacity that promises to reshape human civilization. Located on the northwest coast of Saudi Arabia, Neom is being designed as a completely sustainable city, powered by renewable energy, with robotic workers and AI-driven infrastructure. The city will be built in a desert paradise, but it won't look like any city you've ever seen. Imagine flying cars, vertical farms, automated highways, and luxury resorts built with cutting-edge technology. And that's just the beginning. Neom will feature The Line, a 170-kilometer-long city without streets or cars, designed for zero carbon emissions and built entirely around walkability. It's an urban utopia for the future. MBS calls it a new civilization. And for a man who's made a career of dreaming big, Neom may just be his grandest vision yet. In addition to Neom, MBS is also leading the Red Sea project, an $8 billion development aimed at transforming Saudi Arabia's Red Sea coastline into one of the most exclusive luxury tourism destinations on Earth. This project will include high-end resorts, private islands, and world-class amenities, all designed with sustainability in mind. It will cater to the elite, offering a rare glimpse of Saudi Arabia's untapped natural beauty. And once complete, the Red Sea project will attract millions of tourists each year, further establishing Saudi Arabia as a global luxury destination. But while Neom and the Red Sea project will push the boundaries of luxury, MBS is also focused on creating a greener future. In 2021, he launched the Green Saudi Initiative, a plan to reduce the kingdom's carbon emissions and plant over 10 billion trees in the coming years. This initiative is a direct response to the environmental challenges the world faces. MBS knows that to build a sustainable future, Saudi Arabia must lead by example, using its wealth and power to create a greener world for generations to come. It's another testament to his vision that luxury, technology, and sustainability don't have to be separate. They can exist side by side. From billion-dollar cities to a greener, more sustainable world, Mohammed Bin Salman's future projects are reshaping not only Saudi Arabia, but the entire planet. But as he builds his empire, he also faces challenges and controversies, challenges that could define how history judges him. Coming up next, the darker side of the royal billionaire life. The secrets, scandals, and power struggles that have shaped MBS's reign. Behind the opulence, the jets, and the palaces, Mohammed bin Salman's rise to power has not been without its controversies. For every ambitious project he's launched, there has been a shadow of criticism, scandal, and power struggles that threaten to undermine his carefully curated image of a modern-day ruler. One of the most notorious and widely discussed controversies surrounding MBS is the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018. Khashoggi, a prominent critic of the Saudi government, was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, in a case that shocked the world. International investigations have linked MBS to the incident, despite his denials. The CIA concluded that the order to kill Khashoggi came from the highest levels of the Saudi government, from none other than Mohammed bin Salman himself. This tragedy led to widespread international condemnation and strained relations between Saudi Arabia and the West. But for MBS, it also marked a turning point in his reign, a moment when his image as a reformer and modernizer was seriously tarnished. While many believe that MBS's rise to power was the ultimate goal, the consequences of Khashoggi's murder continue to haunt his rule. Another controversy that has cast a shadow over MBS's leadership is Saudi Arabia's involvement in the Yemen civil war. Since 2015, Saudi Arabia has led a coalition fighting against Houthi rebels in Yemen, a war that has resulted in a humanitarian disaster. The conflict has led to the deaths of thousands of civilians, famine, and disease. And while MBS insists the intervention was necessary to protect regional stability, many critics argue that the war has been catastrophic for Yemen's population. International human rights organizations have condemned Saudi actions, and MBS has faced increasing pressure from Western governments to end the conflict. The Yemen war remains one of the most controversial aspects of his reign and has raised questions about the true cost of Saudi Arabia's global ambitions. Within Saudi Arabia, MBS's consolidation of power has raised eyebrows. He is known for orchestrating the anti-corruption crackdown in 2017, which saw dozens of high-profile princes, businessmen, and officials arrested and detained in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Riyadh. While the official narrative was that these individuals were guilty of corruption, many believed it was a political maneuver designed to eliminate rivals and solidify MBS's position as the future ruler of Saudi Arabia. Critics argue that the crackdown was not about reform, but about repression and silencing potential opposition. MBS's rise has also been marked by fierce competition and backstabbing within the royal family. His rapid consolidation of power has alienated key factions, and some believe that his reign is defined by a hidden civil war behind closed doors, where the royal family's future is uncertain. Despite the controversies, Mohammed Bin Salman's reign continues to move forward. But the question remains, will the world accept the price of progress, or will his controversial actions ultimately define his legacy? Coming up next, we'll look at the future of Saudi Arabia under MBS. What is the royal billionaire's true vision for the kingdom, and how will his reign be remembered by history? As Mohammed bin Salman's reign continues to evolve, one question looms over all others. What will his legacy be? Will he be remembered as the visionary prince who reshaped Saudi Arabia into a global powerhouse? Or will history judge him harshly for the controversies and challenges that have marred his journey to the throne? Despite the controversies, MBS's vision for Saudi Arabia remains clear. His Vision 2030 is a roadmap for the kingdom's transformation, an ambitious plan to diversify its economy, reduce its reliance on oil, and position itself as a global leader in innovation and technology. His boldest project, NEOM, symbolizes his long-term aspirations. The city is not just a physical space, but a philosophy, a place where sustainability, technology, and luxury converge to create a future city for the next generation. NEOM represents MBS's belief that Saudi Arabia's future lies in its ability to innovate, to adapt, and to lead in an increasingly interconnected world. If it succeeds, NEOM will be the crown jewel of MBS's legacy, an example of what a forward-thinking leader can achieve in a rapidly changing world. Another major element of MBS's legacy is his focus on sustainability and renewable energy. Through initiatives like the Green Saudi Initiative and his push for solar energy, MBS aims to position Saudi Arabia as a leader in global environmental efforts. The kingdom, once dependent on oil for its wealth, now seeks to become a hub for clean energy and sustainable living. This shift marks a dramatic departure from the past and places Saudi Arabia at the center of the global transition to a green economy. MBS's vision is clear: a future where Saudi Arabia's wealth comes not from the past, but from its ability to innovate and embrace the technologies that will drive the future. MBS also understands that in today's world, influence is not only about resources, but about ideas and technology. Under his leadership, Saudi Arabia is making strategic investments in tech companies, artificial intelligence, and space exploration. He has sought partnerships with global giants, bringing companies like Uber, Lucid Motors, and Tesla to Saudi Arabia, as well as building partnerships with major tech firms to bring cutting-edge innovations to the kingdom. The country's investment in Silicon Valley and the global tech scene signals a clear shift from being an oil-dependent nation to becoming a hub of innovation and investment for the future. One of the most fascinating aspects of MBS's rule is the cultural shift that's taking place in Saudi Arabia. For decades, the kingdom was known for its strict interpretation of Islamic law and conservative values. But under MBS, the kingdom has witnessed sweeping reforms. women driving, relaxed social restrictions, increased access to entertainment and tourism. These changes have marked a new era for Saudi Arabia, one that blends tradition with modernity and sets the stage for a more open, globally connected society. Asterisk. However, the pace and scale of these reforms have also led to tension. Some fear that the changes are happening too quickly, while others argue that the reforms don't go far enough. But no one can deny that Saudi Arabia is entering a new chapter with MBS as its modernizing force. MBS is reshaping Saudi Arabia's role on the world stage. His ambitions reach far beyond the Middle East. He's working to strengthen Saudi Arabia's ties with both Western powers and Eastern giants like China and Russia. His global influence is growing as he takes on an active role in shaping international affairs. Whether through investments in global infrastructure projects or playing a key part in the G20 summit, MBS is positioning Saudi Arabia as not just a regional player, but as a global force that cannot be ignored. As we look ahead, the future of Saudi Arabia and Mohammed bin Salman's legacy is still unfolding. He's faced incredible challenges, but with his vision and determination, he's laying the foundation for a future that could shape the world for generations to come. So the question remains, will MBS's legacy be defined by his controversies, or will it be the transformative changes he's ushered in that ultimately define him? As we close this journey into the royal billionaire life of Mohammed bin Salman, one question persists. How will history judge him? Is he the visionary leader who transformed Saudi Arabia into a beacon of modernity and innovation? Or is he a ruler tainted by scandals, power struggles, and an authoritarian grip on the throne? The legacy of Mohammed bin Salman is not one of simple black and white. His reign is marked by both remarkable achievements and undeniable controversies. On one hand, MBS has brought sweeping reforms to Saudi Arabia, transforming it into a country focused on economic diversification, sustainability, and global influence. His Vision 2030 has brought groundbreaking projects like NEOM and the Red Sea Project to life. He's opened up the kingdom to global tourism, pushed for women's rights, and taken the bold step to break free from oil dependency. But on the other hand, his legacy is shadowed by the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, the ongoing war in Yemen, and allegations of corruption within the royal family. His consolidation of power has led to accusations of authoritarianism and suppression of opposition. These complexities define the nature of his rule, a leader who has reshaped his country, but at a significant cost. Despite the controversies, there's no denying that Mohammed bin Salman has a grand vision for Saudi Arabia. He is building something that goes beyond the material. He's building an idea. His investments in futuristic cities, his focus on technology, and his commitment to creating a sustainable future all speak to a man who believes in progress. He's taking risks, daring to go where no other leader in the kingdom has dared before. MBS is reshaping Saudi Arabia's identity on the world stage and preparing it for a post-oil era. If NEOM becomes the success he envisions, it could stand as a monument to his vision, a city of the future built in the heart of the desert, where technology and nature coexist and where wealth and sustainability come together in harmony. Under MBS's leadership, Saudi Arabia is no longer a nation defined solely by oil and tradition. It's a country looking to the future, with its eyes firmly set on becoming a global leader in fields ranging from energy to technology and finance. From investments in major international companies to its growing influence in global politics, MBS is making Saudi Arabia a country whose actions reverberate across the world. His international partnerships are paving the way for new geopolitical alliances that will shape the next century. He's made his mark on the global stage, and Saudi Arabia's role in the world is more powerful than ever. But no legacy is without its dark side. Mohammed bin Salman's rule has been marked by moments that have called into question the true cost of his power. The murder of Jamal Khashoggi, the Yemen war, and the crackdown on political dissent have all stained his reputation. These actions have provoked international outrage and created a deep divide between Saudi Arabia and much of the Western world. Despite these scandals, MBS remains an unyielding force in his kingdom, and his resolve to carry out his vision appears unshaken. Some see him as a ruthless leader willing to make hard choices for the future, while others view him as a man who will go to any lengths to maintain his grip on power. As we look ahead, Saudi Arabia's future remains uncertain. With Vision 2030 continuing to unfold and new projects like NEOM in development, the kingdom is poised for significant transformation. But whether these changes can withstand the pressures of global politics, internal dissent, and economic challenges remains to be seen. MBS's legacy, ultimately, will depend on his ability to balance innovation with tradition, ambition with diplomacy, and power with compassion. If he succeeds, he will have built a legacy of profound change. If he falters, history may judge him as a ruler who tried to change the world, but whose actions left a shadow that could never be erased. In the end, Mohammed bin Salman's legacy is still being written. He has reshaped the landscape of Saudi Arabia and the Middle East in ways few thought possible. But as with any powerful figure, his impact will be measured by both the triumphs and the tragedies of his reign. Will he be remembered as the visionary who led Saudi Arabia into the future, or the man whose thirst for power led to too many sacrifices? Only time will tell. Thank you for joining us on this journey inside the royal billionaire life of Mohammed bin Salman. From his incredible rise to power to his ambitious vision for Saudi Arabia's future, we've seen both the triumphs and the challenges of a man whose legacy is still unfolding. As with any powerful figure, the true measure of his impact will be determined by history. Whether you see MBS as a visionary or a controversial figure, there's no denying his influence on the kingdom and the world at large. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the world's most influential leaders, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more exclusive content like this. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Mohammed bin Salman's legacy will be one of transformation or controversy? Drop your comments below, and let's continue the conversation. Until next time, stay tuned to the Lux World, where we bring you the stories of the world's most powerful and intriguing figures. See you in the next video.